Everybody, welcome to Lupus LA's Power of Art. How is everybody in the room?
Great.
Yeah, excellent. I want to welcome everybody who's on Zoom joining us. We've got 45 people or so painting on Zoom with us, and another 25 watching and enjoying all the conversation we're going to have. This is a first for Lupus LA. This is exciting. My name's Adam. I'm the founding chair of Lupus LA and the host of our Your Story, Our Fight podcast. Don't mind my voice. It's, as we lupus patients know, getting over a cold is not that easy. We are here at Rolling Greens in beautiful Studio City, California. Heather Clark is our painting instructor from Paint and Sip LA. And we're going to be painting this really cool dream catcher. Mine will not look like this, but Donna's will for sure. And we are joined by Donna Jordan and her daughter Jamila. And the reason we're here is really Donna is working with us to bring the power of art to lupus patients really across the country. And that's why we're so excited about having you here today and having everybody in the room. The people in the room here are board members, lupus influencers, and patients. And so we're really excited. This is going to be a really fun afternoon. It's going to be a really cool, chill vibe. If you're on the Zoom, if you're having any audio problems or can't see or need some help, just text in the chat, put it in the chat. If you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. We're going to be talking to some of our guests here throughout the day. So throw those in the chat. And I'm going to start off. I want Donna to introduce herself and tell us a little bit about your journey with lupus and sort of your art and lupus collaboration and why that's so important to you.
Okay. So Donna Jordan, and where's the camera?
Camera
Can they see?
is around.
But they can hear me.
They can hear you.
Right here. So Donna Jordan, I
see your art, which is
I've been battling lupus for some 25 years. And through that time, it's been a lot of, working out details and solutions and hacks and everything to be able to be creative and to get my work done and produced in the way I'd like it to be. And sometimes we just don't feel that way. Sometimes we don't feel good. So right now I'm in the season where I'm feeling a little bit more energetic. I'm feeling like I have a little bit more control until I got this cold, as you say, this allergy or something. And I was thinking driving over here that, my God, it's like, we have lupus, but then when we have like normal things that everybody else has, it just throws us for a loop for a bit. But I'm so glad and I'm grateful for everyone being here and our wonderful board members who have supported my ideas for trying to support women or lupus patients that have a passion or a career professionally or whatever in art, and how I've managed to get through it, work through it, find different things that help me be motivated and be able to actually hold brushes, mix colors. Those sort of things sometimes can be very challenging. Stretching canvases, pulling canvases. It's a very physical thing. So I'm here to inspire you, to let you know that I'm back at the board, I'm back working, and the board has, invited me and I'm here with them, and that, this can be a wonderful journey. And I wanted you to share this with me today. And I'm so happy that everyone came, and let's get this art going.
And I'll say, here's the best part. Okay. That's beautiful. It's beautiful. And you don't have to be a professional artist to get a lot, I think, out of using your art and expressing your creativity to help you feel better with your lupus. So I think we'll talk a little bit about that. I'm sure, my daughter, when I was coming here, I told her we were painting a dream catcher.
Right.
And I said, you can have it in your room. And she said, well, we'll see. So a lot of high expectations there, and that may be true, but my goal is to get a little peace and excitement and enjoyment out of it. And I hope everybody at home,
it's very therapeutic.
It's very therapeutic. Right?
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, why don't we introduce Heather?
Okay.
And we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more later, but let's get started.
Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm so honored to be here with you today, just to bring a little painting joy to your life. Like Adam and Donna were saying, art is very therapeutic, not just as a creative outlet, but when you can paint with your peers and have this sense of community, that's also very healing and supportive. So I am just very happy to be here with you this morning. Like I said, my name is Heather. I'm with Paint and Sip Studio LA. If you forget my name, it's on the back here. But I'll probably answer to just about anything. So before we get started, I just want to let you know that this painting is yours. Okay, feel free to be as creative with this as you like. You can change up the colors, you can add stuff, you can take stuff out. This is not about me, it's about you guys having a good time, relaxing, and being creative. So if you want to change colors, I support you. If you want to do lots of crazy feathers, I support you. If you want to have a square dream catcher, I'm here for it. Okay, so just do what makes you happy. And also be nice to yourself while you're painting. Okay, for some of us, it might have been a little while since we've painted, even maybe since we were children. That's okay. You do not have to be a professional artist, as Adam said, to do this painting. And for the spicy ones, be nice to your friends around the table. They might be having a rough day, okay? So unless you have that kind of relationship, then it's none of my business. But we're gonna take a quick little tour around our paint station and then we're gonna get started, okay? And remember, your painting is going to look different than everybody else's, and we love that. That's a beautiful part of it. Don't judge yourself based on what your neighbor's doing or what I'm doing. It has to look like your painting, not mine, okay? All right, so the first thing that you're gonna find is a little paint packet. It looks like everybody found their apron inside of this. If you didn't, I highly recommend that you wear it. We're using non-toxic acrylic paint. It is non-toxic, but it does stain your clothes if it dries, okay? So if you have on long sleeves, if you have on jewelry that hangs down or anything that you think might dip into your paint, let's go ahead and do something with that right now. Just make sure you don't leave it behind or lose it. Roll up a sleeve, maybe put things to the side. And this apron is the hardest part, okay? If you can unfold this guy, you're good. Yes, you got it. Perfect. It's okay. Everybody looks at it like, what is this? Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so the apron is in here. You're also going to have 3 brushes. We have big, medium, and small. I'll let you know which brush I'm using, but feel free to explore which, if you're like, Heather, okay, but I want to try this brush, go ahead. No big deal. And then you have a few napkins. I like to just kind of fan these napkins out so that they last a little bit longer, but if you do need more, we do have more. Just raise your hand. I can bring you more napkins, more paint, anything that you need, I'm here. Okay, the next thing that you're gonna find is this beautiful red Solo cup. This is red for do not drink me. You like to put a little warning label on there. If you do drink it, like I said, it's non-toxic. It's not gonna taste good, but you're gonna be okay, all right? And the other thing that can happen is after a few little sips, sometimes these end up in our wine. So maybe separate your glasses. Say, okay, this is my drinking glass, this is my painting glass. I like to take these just to help me and pop these bad boys in there. So I'm like, okay, this is my painting glass. All right, are we ready? Okay, so you also have a little inspo pick. We call it inspo because this is for inspiration. Like I said, your painting does not have to look like this. So just kind of let the creative juices flow. We are gonna Bob Ross this, happy accidents all the way. There's no messing up. We're gonna embrace everything and roll with it, okay? All right, so we're gonna start with our background. If you like the color of this background, beautiful. If you wanna do blue, pink, orange, anything like that, I would suggest that you mix it with some white. So, oh, I forgot your paint palette. That's tucked underneath your little easel there if you didn't find it. Everybody has at least 2 plates. We do that for a couple of reasons, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But you may want a lighter background. If you are feeling like you need a dark background, if you're like, Heather, that's the mood that I'm in and I need that, again, I support it. But then think about making your dream catcher a lighter color so that you have that contrast there, okay? The colors are gonna pop either way, but just think about what you want. So if you like the color that's on there, I'm gonna start with my big brush. You have this phthalo green on your plate. It looks a little bit like black, so it can kind of trick your eye, but it is actually green. The way we bring that color out is we're gonna take a scoop of white. You have 2 scoops of 2 piles of white on your plate. You can use either one. I like to bring this scoop over to the green. And we're just gonna start mixing. And then you're gonna start to see this beautiful green come out. So those of you that are joining us online, if your black and green look the same, hold it up to the light, and it may help you to decide which is which. If you want pink, you're going to do red and white. You can do a lovely light yellow, adding some white, add some white to some blue. These are all going to be good colors. You could even do a gray if you wanted to. And we're just going to start painting our background. Now, if you're able to take a quick little peek at your inspo pick, you'll notice there's a gradient on here, okay? So it's a little bit lighter at the top and darker at the bottom. So you can start with a base color if you like, and then you can go in and add either more white to the top or a little more green to the bottom if you want that gradient. If you don't want it and you like everything to just be the same color all the way through, that's okay as well.
Here we go, people.
Here we go.
Yeah.
We're going.
Oh,
Yeah, you shouldn't be stressed at this point. If you are, that's what the wine is for, okay?
Take my lunch.
That's okay. I love it. I love it. If at any point you feel confident enough to go ahead, like go for it on your own, that's totally fine as well. Like I said, I'm not offended. This is about you guys and not me, so go for it.
okay. How long do we have, Heather?
We have actually a few minutes. This is a good time to,
I mean,
Watch out.
to
if you need,
make this a masterpiece, or
it's a girl, it's going to be a
Oh, my
masterpiece no
snake.
matter what. Yeah. Yes, we have time. We have time.
I'll tell you what, maybe we could ask, we have our handheld mics coming around.
Yes, I think that's a great idea.
Oh,
I want to introduce Debbie Cowan.
yes.
Debbie is our current chair.
Yes. Yes.
So Debbie, tell us a little bit about what this event means to you and how you're, enjoying the job of running this organization and tell us a little bit about that.
When I was leaving the house today and my husband was there, and I said, I am so excited to support Donna today. We're so happy that you're a part of the board now. I know that you've been involved with us for a very long time,
Right.
but I have two sisters who are artists, and I know what art can mean to a person.
Okay.
It is, as you say, it's something that you just have to do.
Right.
And for somebody like me,
Yes.
who has zero ability in this area, it's scary. Even I know she said there should be no stress. There's still stress.
still no stress. I know.
I still
know.
feel it. But that being said, I'm so excited that we have this ability
Yes.
to be together,
To be together
be
in
with
this way.
people
Yes.
who are sometimes involved in our organization, but always involved in supporting us in some fashion. And we're just so incredibly grateful for you and for what you bring to us.
Thank you so much for
Thank
having
you.
me.
No,
Yes.
thank you.
All right. Well said.
Donna, tell me a little bit about how lupus entered your life and where you were in your art back then and sort of what was the change?
Well, probably it was around 1997 that I first was diagnosed with lupus. And at that point in time, my children were all under 12, I think 13 at that point. So I was still very involved with making sure the family was still functioning and going. But my art at that point was just non-existent. I didn't do anything. I didn't paint. I didn't, there was nothing else other than lupus for me to focus on. It's just being healthy and getting myself back together. But let's say about
But before that, you were
I was fully engaged in my art career. I was fortunate enough to be able to make a living at being an artist all of my life. And with that, there are a lot of little ins and outs, that you kind of go through with different art careers, painting glass, painting fabric, doing t-shirts, there's the church signs, what have you. So I was always very, very active. Started when I was about 7. My mother saw the talent, or let's see, a propensity for me to paint and draw. I guess the mural that I started on my bedroom wall might have gave her a little bit of a clue that maybe we should get her canvas and not so she doesn't paint the house up. But no, art has always been a part of my life, and art has always been involved with my children growing up. And it just, after lupus and that diagnosis, just everything sort of went south. But as I moved through the years and started getting a handle on the things that I needed to do in order to be better, the different treatments, the different medications, and, that were coming out in the research, honestly, back in those days it wasn't that much. I hadn't even heard about lupus at that time. And, so I was coming in on ground level as far as I was concerned. But 25 years later or so, I think I have a good grip on what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And I can now paint, because also there's a creative aspect in your mind, in your brain as you're moving. I mean, it's just like people don't usually just walk up to things and paint. You have to work out a design. You have to figure out how it's going to detect technicalities of it, how you're going to move. And when you're in pain, you just don't feel like doing any of that, even when you get a splinter in your finger, you feel like your whole hand is going to fall off. But I'm just saying it took time for me to meld it and blend it back into my life, to be able to do it on a regular basis.
Right.
Did I answer your question?
You did, totally.
Okay, I'm sorry. I was running on
No, I
for
was
a minute
just thinking
there.
about
Okay.
melding and blending, and I'm like,
Okay, that's what I was saying. I think
Balance
that's
of
why I
paint.
used those words.
And
I was
get
like,
this green
blending
on
and
this-
melting. Okay. I was
the
like,
white just keeps coming
white keeps
through.
coming through. I
right.
know. And that's also
I need
how I
roller.
start. When I'm doing a painting, I just cover it. The white is so intimidating.
Oh,
It's like, okay.
all right. Wait, Heather just showed me a technique.
Uh-oh.
You got to use a little water.
Can't see. You were behind me.
You got to use a little water.
Okay.
Thin it out.
Yes, thin it out. That'll help.
See,
Move it along.
now we're talking.
Okay.
All right.
We're gonna make sure your daughter gets that painting.
Yeah,
up
she's
in
gonna
there.
love this thing.
Okay.
This is gonna be a family heirloom. So let me ask, I don't know, excuse me, if there's anybody else in the room, excuse me, who is an artist or who does paint on a regular basis. Is there anybody here who also does a lot of that? I should have probably asked that question before I went live. Okay, so that's okay. That's all right.
Just painting.
Yes,
Yes.
that
Oh,
counts.
100%.
So Marissa, actually, you know what? Tell me about that. Tell me what it's like to, how does that help you? I know I spent a lot of time with my kids, and doing art with them sometimes does really like loosen you up. And
It does, I will preface by saying I am skilled at other things. So this is not
Okay.
my strong suit, but it's just a lovely thing to be able to do with your family and just sort of let go and let the art take you where it may. And then also oftentimes if you're not feeling so great, it's a great option to just sit down with a canvas. It's like one of the many sort of joys where you can actually be stationary and like just use your hands and your eyes. And so if you're not feeling that great, it's sort of a lovely option to just fill your mind and your heart with something
something
joyful. Yeah.
Exactly. That is so true.
And so sharing that with my husband and my 10-year-old daughter is very special. Again, I'm skilled in other areas.
Listen.
So the results may not be something we hang on the wall, but
Listen.
it's the experience that
It's
counts.
the experience.
Yes.
For sure.
excellent. Heather, tell me when you need me to throw it back to you.
So we'll just go ahead and go over a couple of little things here. Like Adam shared, if your paint feels a little patchy, like it's sticky, it's not flowing very well, dip into your water, tap off the excess, and go right over the paint that you just applied. That helps to kind of push the paint around the canvas a little bit. So that may be helpful. When you're finished with your background, everybody has 2 plates. Remember I talked about that? So we have our lovely guest here. What's your name? Sheba. She is showing us the beautiful fanning technique, okay?
Ah.
So, because when we did our background, we were mixing, we were blending colors, and you have to blend when the paint is wet. That is the best time.
Yes.
And so after we get our blending done here for our background, we're gonna start layering.
Okay.
We need our background to be dry before we start layering, or we're actually gonna be blending when we don't wanna blend, if that makes
Gotcha.
sense. So to know if your paint is dry, you're gonna look at your canvas. You can kind of tilt it either this way, this way. If she's shiny, that means that she is not ready for layering. It needs to dry a little bit more, okay? When it starts to turn matte and you think, is this dry enough? You can lightly touch it with your finger and just see if you have any transfer. You'll know. Really shiny means not ready. When it turns a little more matte, then we're ready. And we will start that in just a few minutes. I'm going to give everybody a chance to finish their background. If you're a right-hander, you can use your left hand to fan, and then we feel like we're multitasking. We got an arm workout, we're painting, we're sipping, we're doing all the fun things. So I'm going to give you guys a few minutes to do that, and this is another great time for you guys. Chat.
All right, Donna, tell me, you're the mother of 3 incredible children. One is
Yes,
sitting
correct.
right next to you, so you have to be nicer to her.
I know. True.
But tell me about, we talked about this when we were on the podcast, but tell
Right.
me about how your lupus, had changed you as a mom and how you had to adapt.
Oh boy, that's a toughie.
And then Jamila's going to get to tell you if you're right.
Don't give her that mic. Okay. So I became sort of a master of just disguise with children, once you get diagnosed. And don't be making me cry, Adam.
I'm sorry.
I
sorry.
know, I knew you knew that was a trigger question.
I know. It was on my sheet.
Okay. It was just a thing where you still want to show up and do what you have to do.
Yep. No, I hear you. It's okay. Well, you've obviously done that. You have 3 incredible kids.
No,
It worked.
And you don't want them to ever feel.
Only one is here, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. So that might be a little bit indication. No, but it's just that you balance out. You never want your children, because they're young, you don't want them to sort of feel the anxiety that you're feeling as you're going through every day. For children, no matter, even if you don't have lupus, you just want everything to go okay for them. Make sure they have their lunch, make sure they have everything, make sure their clothes are matching, all those sort of things. So, that you have to still contend with the motherhood, the meals, the
Yeah.
cooking, and being a wife, and all those things still are in play. So I just said that I would fake it. I'd wake up with a small smile in the morning, and do what I needed to do. And when they went to school, I could just, completely break down, melt out, you know what I mean, or whatever, And that was before I had a lupus community.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yep.
once I came to California and I had this community of lupus patients, it just sort of changed everything in the way I could move through
Yep.
the lupus, and because I had other people now that I saw that also had the same condition and how they moved. And then, we share techniques and we share how we get through the days and new medications, new treatments, so in that way, raising your children, and then I believe they're more empathetic as
Mhm.
well.
Yep.
Because they see the struggle that I
Oh,
went through.
100%.
You know what I mean? So when you see
100%.
other people having illnesses or having shortcomings in those sort of physical way, I see them do it with their friends. I see them do it with other people. They're just very kind, and considerate that maybe this person might not be feeling that well.
Yeah.
They just cut me off the road and cussed me out, but maybe they're having a little
Right,
bit of,
right,
they're having
right.
a flare.
Jamila, tell me about growing up with your mom and what you remember about her lupus diagnosis.
Well, in the beginning, I will say, yes, we did always have lunch. And if we did, the clothes didn't always match, but that was more of the artistic reflection over the lupus reflection. And yes, there is a story about that, but we're not going to get into that on this. But no, I think I think because we were all learning about lupus for the first time.
Right.
We definitely were a lot younger, so there was a lot that we didn't understand, but the masking part is real. And I think that's the bit that it took us a little bit longer to kind of really fully come to grips with, because you would say, I'm fine, but we kind of knew you weren't fine. And so I know and that's always easier to just kind of say, I'm okay, as opposed to going into all of what you are dealing with. And so, yes, I do think we became very empathetic, but we also became closer. And I think I'd like to think that, you know, we gave you a bit of an environment to open up and let a little bit of your shield down. And I think we slowed down a little bit too, and made sure that we were putting extra care into you. But early on it was a bunch of figuring it out. It was a bunch of, I feel like, problem solving and just really taking things one day at a time. Because there wasn't just okay, this is wrong, do this, we're done. It was an ongoing type of situation.
Right.
And so, yeah, you showed up in the ways that you could show up, the ways that you couldn't. We adapted, we shifted, we changed, and
There was ways I didn't show up.
no.
Well, I will tell you, I mean, just having watched your family for the last 10, 15 years, right?
Yeah.
You know, you can tell that the kids and the whole family is so tight. And when I first met Michael, this was after Fruitvale Station shot, before it came out.
Right.
And he came to me and he said, we had an orange ball and he wanted to come to the orange ball. We went to the orange ball and we sat down and had coffee, I think with his agent. I think probably Phil. I don't know.
Yes,
Good question.
okay.
But and we sat down and he said, listen, here's what I see for my career. And here's what I see how that's going to help my mom.
Okay.
And he laid it out.
Oh,
And I was like, at this point, his career was not, I was like, this guy knows what he's doing. He knew where he was going.
right.
But he also knew that where he was going to take lupus in a new direction. And you could tell it was really part of his mission. He wanted to lay it out. And we sat there, we talked, we laid it out. We said, here's how we can do this. And, as the career, he never forgot that.
Right.
And through creating MBJM and, and to me, that just shows me how much you've instilled in your kids to know, not only giving back to the greater lupus community, but giving back to their mom.
Oh, for sure,
It's
for
so
sure.
important. And you guys all show up,
Right.
all four of you, all five of you,
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
And it's been an
Thank you.
incredible thing to watch
Okay.
over the years. And so I just
Thank you
wanted to
so
add that. So that's cool.
Love
That's
that.
one of my favorite Lupus LA stories.
No, really.
And
was
it's about us too, investing in young talent who understands the mission.
Right.
And not just, I want a
Yes.
free dinner.
Right.
And, or a free gala or whatever it is, but
True.
so, okay. Very cool.
Very cool.
Let's get back to phase two. Heather.
Let's do it.
So I think everybody's canvas should be dry enough at this point where we can continue. Before we continue on to the next portion, I'm going to give you a quick little line weighting tutorial, okay? Because that's going to be key for all these lines that we're about to create. So I'm going to flip my canvas over. You don't have to do this. This is just so you can have a visual for me. Now you have two brushes. They're both round brushes. These are the brushes we haven't used yet. There's a bigger one and a smaller one. You can use either one depending on how thin you want your lines. But I'm going to show you how to use this brush, okay? I'm going to use black just so you can see. Now our paint's been sitting for a little bit and it starts to dry out. So the first thing that I will tell you is to take a couple of drops of water and add it right to the edge of whatever paint you're going to use, because we want this to be very liquidy so that it glides and our lines, we don't get broken lines. We want it to just glide continuously. So when the paint starts to dry out, we've got to help it along a little bit and just give it a little water. Okay, so with this round brush, you can create a lot of different line weights with this. So I have my paint on my brush. If I was to take this brush and press as hard as I can, my line is going to be that thick, okay? If I take this same brush and say, let me just give it maybe 50% of the pressure that I just applied, you can get a much thinner line. You can take this all the way, I mean, super duper thin. So all of these paint strokes are with the same brush. It's just depending on how you are using this. The harder you push, the more surface area you're creating and using. So your line is going to be thicker. If you want a thick line, that's great. But if you're like, how do I get a little bitty thin line? Light pressure. If you want it super thin, that's when you're going to move down to the detail brush, which is the baby brush, okay? But you can still get thin lines with this bigger brush. So I just wanted to let everybody know that, because they're going to say, how are your lines so thin? Why are my lines so thick? Just press with lighter pressure and you're going to get what you're looking for. Okay, so with our dream catcher, I'm going to go ahead and flip this back around now. Decide where you want this to live on the painting. If you like it in the middle, beautiful. You can do it right here on the corner if you want, and have it like flowing this way if you want to be super fancy. Okay, you can have it off to the side if you kind of like a little cropped view. You decide what makes you happy and where you want this dream catcher to live. For those of us that are going to go ahead, I have to be boring because I'm the teacher. So for those of us that are going to do it in the middle, I know if you're like a type A and you're like, this has to be centered. First of all, I'm going to tell you, take a little sip of wine and kind of let that go just a little bit. Okay, I don't want you to be too hard on yourselves. But I have some little tricks here that might help. So remember to mix a little water. I just have it on the edge of my black just so it's nice and flowy. Okay. So I like to use my hands a lot just for tools and say, if I want this centered, let me take maybe 3 finger widths from the edge and I'm going to pop a little dot there. And then I'll take 3 finger widths from this edge and pop a little dot right there. So now I know that at least the spacing on the sides is going to be centered-ish, okay? I'm going to eyeball where the middle of this is going to go and maybe just pop a little dot right here. So I should have boom, 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 3 dots. I can just slowly start to fill this in and make like a dot to dot, which we remember from like grade school. So we give ourselves just a little bit of a guide because this is kind of scary. Circles are hard. I will tell you, every time I think I've painted a circle, I turn my picture this way and it's a completely different shape. And I'm like, okay, so, so don't be too hard on yourselves for that. But this gives you a little bit of a guide, a little bit of a boundary, and it's a little more helpful. Now, after you have painted this, at any time, if you do need to turn your canvas this way to be able to pop this line on, or if you need to turn it upside down, that's fine. You can turn your canvas at any time. There's a lot of times I'll take this off and I'll do it like right here in front of my face. That's okay. There's no rules.
No rules, Adam.
So once you have enough dots in there, you'll just start connecting these. So if you start with a thinner line and it's not completely straight, that's a little hack, because then you can just go in and thicken it up a little bit to straighten it out. That's like, if you've ever used liquid eyeliner, those people know what I'm talking about. When you start and then it just gets a little thicker than you want, it's okay. So start thinner. And then just start connecting your dots. You'll know if you need to add water or not, because your paint will start looking patchy. Your lines, it's almost like you ran out of paint. You can't get enough paint on your brush. Add a bit of water, and that's going to go a long way. So I am going to turn mine a little bit just to help myself out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And this is a stressful time.
This is pretty.
So we're, yes.
This is.
So we're going to take this moment to turn to our neighbor and tell them what a fantastic job they're doing. Your dream ability is amazing. Yes.
And then we take this.
Yes.
Be stressed. No. Just brush it on.
For those of us joining online, if you don't have anybody next to you, tell yourself how amazing you are. That's what I do when I'm painting. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so amazing. And it works.
That is. That's smart. What happens? Bringing it off to the side. Less of the circle.
Adam. I figured maybe I could, yeah.
This is already better than.
Oh, no.
Oh, Donna, look, I don't even.
I know. Listen,
I can't.
I got a little more practice in under my belt. That's all.
Heather, do I have a second to ask Donna a question from the folks on Zoom?
Oh, no, not the
Okay.
folks on Zoom.
Yes, the folks on Zoom, they're coming in. Let's see. How did you know that art would be a part of your life? You kind of answered that a little bit, like when you were younger, but that was one question.
Okay. So yes, I knew art would be, it might have been when I was 5, that my mother basically, saw the talent, and it was confirmed by one of her friends who had sort of a sense about me when I was very young.
Yeah.
She's an artist.
There
My
you
mother
go.
said, "Oh, great, wonderful. Let's promote that. Let's push that. Let's help her along." So
Great. All right, I got another one for you. This one I like. What's your favorite painting and why? Now I don't know whether they mean your favorite painting of yours, or so you can interpret that however. Or what are some other artists that inspire you?
see some other artists. I was always a fan of Salvador Dali
Yeah.
and Kandinsky, and some of the artists that sort of explored the abstract world. And Romare Bearden, of course, in different periods of time. Some periods I was not quite excited about. But no, basically, and Charles Searles, one of my teachers, when I was going to Philadelphia College of Art, it really inspired me along the lines of abstract art. So that's sort of what those artists sort of spoke to me, and I sort of just carried along in those lines. If that makes
And what's the favorite painting you've done of your own?
the favorite painting that I've done of my own was a painting that I did probably in, I would say around 19, I won't date myself too bad. Okay, 2021, okay, around
Okay.
there. But it was a painting of hummingbirds. And these hummingbirds, oddly enough, are following me even now because they've gotten a new life. And that was basically sitting outside in an environment and having a butterfly, a hummingbird come and, like, beat those wings at however speed that is. And I'm up here thinking it's a bee, get away from me. And I said, oh, it's a little hummingbird. And I understand that they bring messages to you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it
Okay.
was so my hummingbird has done me well. It really has inspired me. And I think it is one of my favorites. And it seems like it's resonating with a lot of my followers.
Yep. Excellent. All right. I want to talk to some of our other artists at the other
Please.
table, some of our lupus patients. Who's over? I can't see over there.
Yeah.
Um,
Blind spot over.
Lorena, is that you? Oh, I see you, Lorena. Lorena, tell me about your experience here just today. Just how is this art making you feel? Tell us a little bit about your lupus background so everybody knows you. You were on the podcast, so everybody watching should have watched your podcast, right? Everybody watches that. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, this reaffirms that I am not an artist. But it's such a joy to be here in community. And art growing up was very crucial. I think especially when I was diagnosed with lupus. I mean, I always had a passion for film, and I got to express myself through that, through a camera. But I was diagnosed at 13, and I think that was a big turning point in my life. I was starting to be a teenager, and then,
it's such a, you know, at that time, I didn't realize how my life would change from that on, but I always made it my mission to always look at it as not an obstacle, but I was gonna teach the lupus to live with me and not let it detour me in what I wanted to pursue as a kid. So if anything, I used it as motivation more than anything. And I could not have done it without the support and love of my family, of my mom and my brother, and organizations like Lupus LA, who just, make you feel like you're not alone. I think that's a big thing when, yeah, when you are recently diagnosed, because I had no idea what it was, but when you are in community, it just makes your experience feel validated and that you can, overcome anything when you see other people who've experienced what you're about to go through. Yeah. Yeah. So
Glad you're with us.
thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Lorena. Who else is that? Cambria, you want to say hi? Pass it down to another one of our lupus influencers and podcast guests.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Cambria. I am an agency signed model, and honestly, I would say art and creativity saved my life. I had always known what lupus was. Lupus runs in my family, so I had watched the women in my family deteriorate, and no one really talked about it. It was like this kind of, it wasn't a secret, but it was just, you don't put your business out there. You don't talk about what's wrong. You just walk through life and everything's fine. And I was angry. I was 15 years old and at the height of going into international baccalaureate honors classes and my whole future ahead of me. And I was just angry. And I think having a creative outlet and something that allowed me to express myself in a healthy manner and in a way that I could still push myself and have control, because that was the biggest thing for me, not having control, being out of control. I am a Taurus. I need control. And so being completely and utterly out of control, I put that into my art. And that really healed me.
All right. I love it.
Terrific. Thanks, Cambria. All right, I got another one from our folks on Zoom.
Yes.
What's your favorite textile to create on?
I gotta say it's silk.
Silk.
Yeah, raw tussa silk. Yes.
That sounds very complicated.
It could, but I worked painting yardage for a hand painted silk company back in the 80s.
Okay.
And me and my design partner worked at this company, and it was something about knowing the history of how silks weave and make, the worms or whatever, the silkworms,
Right.
and they get the silk going, and seeing it and the differences in the different types. It's so unique, and it's so natural, so organic. And I think there was something that really sort of drew me into that medium. And then as recently I did a couple of silk scarves, you know what I mean, with some of my artwork on it. But hand painting silk, it
Yeah.
just turns me on.
Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah.
Now we're getting crazy on a Sunday morning. And I could be watching football. Whoop, that's
Okay,
crazy.
but
No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding. I'm
I
just
know.
kidding. I'm just kidding. It's all good.
time this. Okay, what's on? Okay.
We have a question about COVID. So how did that change your approach to art
Boy,
during COVID? Was it helpful?
It was.
Yeah.
It was. Because once you get locked down in the in the house and you can't go anywhere, it's like, okay, and you're trying to get away from everybody else for a minute. You're like, okay, let me go into the room. I'm getting ready to go do some artwork. And yes, it was COVID helped me. I'm telling you, I mean, in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, when I got it a couple of times, that was not so fun.
Yeah.
But because you're already taking all these other medications, and now I'm gonna take all the. It was awful.
Yeah.
But yes, during COVID, art really flourished.
Excellent. Here's a question. Give this to one of our board members.
Okay.
Cara, I'm going to talk, we have a mic to Cara Delaverson.
Okay.
How can family members and friends support a loved one with lupus in meaningful ways while still respecting their boundaries and independence?
Oh,
that is a
nice.
good
I know you have a huge support system.
Yeah,
so I
that's a good
figured this was
That's
a
an
good question for
important
you.
question. Yes.
I mean, I feel very lucky. Like you said, I do have a great support system, but I think they had to learn, that I didn't necessarily always look as sick as I felt, that them, saying, like, encouraging me to push through was not going to be the solution. So I think it was sort of an education process for me and them, like how to be supportive in a way that was actually really helpful. And now they're much more inclined to say, like, what can I take off your plate? Like, what is it helpful if I do this for you so that you can just rest? Like, how can we, sort of split up whatever tasks, errands, like, and sometimes they have to be the ones that are like, you're doing too much. Like, you need to rest and be kind of firm about it. Cause I will like, get too busy and they can just tell, and they have to be the ones that like shut it down. And sometimes I resist.
Oh, and
I'm sure all of you
for a
guys
little
know,
bit.
like, no, I can do it. I can still go. I can still, no. And they have to be like, I'm going to save you from yourself. You cannot,
I
like,
know.
you need to take it down a notch. So I think it's, just,
That hurts.
yeah, yes. But I think it's being honest with your support system about what style helps you. Cause I think it's probably individual, person by person, but
Right.
I think mostly just having people that can like let you talk about it, let you be frustrated, let you be sad, let you feel all the feelings that you're feeling, and
Right.
just be like open to having the hard discussions too.
Oh,
I think that's a
that's
great answer.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Coming back to you, Heather. Okay, we're coming back to Heather. Then we'll come back for some more questions.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, so it looks like everybody has just been continuing with the little like laced parts of the dream catcher, the little ropes hanging down. That's great. Does anybody have any questions at this point? Does anybody need more napkins? One at a time, baby. That's why. That's why.
I know. Oh, great.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the feathers now. All right, we're gonna do our feathers now, guys. So I'm gonna have you take.
Please, listen.
Go ahead and
We
take this
just throw
middle
this
brush
on
and you're
your
gonna
child.
clean it very, very well. 'Cause these
Abstract,
is
okay?
black, right? Yeah, the middle one. We're gonna, if you want to use the
Don't
small
worry
one, you
about it.
can, but if you're gonna use your medium brush, you're gonna feel these little grooves around the bottom of your cup. Really make sure you run that brush along the grooves in your cup. It's gonna pull the paint out, okay? Now, for every color that we use, we are going to mix with white. Because we have this beautiful, vibrant green color or pink or whatever color that you placed on here. And all of these little pastels are going to be competing with that color. So white actually acts like a built-in primer. Have you seen that paint commercial where they're like, primer built in, you only need one coat? That's kind of what we're doing, okay? Otherwise, you're going to have the yellow, especially if you use that on top of the screen, you're going to see that green peek through a lot and it looks not the way you want it to. So the yellow is, or the white is going to help these colors to pop, okay? So for the feathers, what we're going to be doing is we're using this technique again, but we're essentially taking this to this to this all in one swoop. So we're pressing a little bit harder as we get to the tip where it gets really nice and tapered. We slowly lift our brush up. So we have a thicker line. We go thinner, 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 thinner if you want that point on there, okay? So we're essentially taking it from here to here to here all in one paint stroke, if that makes sense. So this, everybody is pretty familiar with the shape of a feather, right? Okay. If not, I can help you. So if you want these long feathers, there's also cute little short feathers that are really like fluffy. You can do those as well. So one side to the other side, same thing. And then just down, we're lifting. So this is going to give you the point. You can fill these in solid. We're going to wait till the end to do a highlight, which is going to make it a little bit more three-dimensional. But right now we're just trying to get these filled in. So once you have that, you can fill it in with whatever color you have, whatever color you wish. You can do multicolor, you can keep it monochromatic, you can do whatever you want, alternate, whatever your little heart desires.
Or you can.
If you want these to be a little fluffy, you can take your brush, you're gonna clean it off and just get paint on the very tip of the brush, okay? You can start to fluff it out right here at the top. We're just doing some little like flicking motions where you can
Oh boy.
kind of feather it all on the top.
Make it all look better.
And this is for like a half Z, like half fluffy, half kind of like when you do your hair half down, half up, half down. You don't know, like you have choices, okay? So it's a little fluffy here at the top and then a little tapered at the bottom. If you want it all fluffy, you just take this brush and you just flick. And again, flicking is from here to here to here, all in one motion very quickly, okay? And you can make these fluffy if that's the vibe that you're going for. Because not all feathers are the same, right? We have some that are sleek and polished. We have some that are more fluffy. It's just however, like whatever your mood is. But you get to pick the color. Now on these where we did our little ropes, this is however many feathers you're gonna have. Or if you're like, okay, I was really ambitious, I overshot it, I don't want to paint 17 feathers, you can paint like a little bead at the end of one of those if you want. Because sometimes we start out one way and then we pivot, right? So that's okay.
Real.
Now you'll see all these different colors.
With
So
everything.
for this color,
Okay, true.
if you want to make a purple, you're going to mix red and blue and then add white. This is the same over here. This is kind of a wine color. This is the same red and blue. It's just very red heavy. So more red than blue because there's all different shades of purple that you can create. So you can play around with that. We have some pink, which is red and white. And then we have this really beautiful peachy orange. That's going to be red and yellow. But remember, you're going to want to mix every single color that you make with white prior to applying it to your painting. It doesn't have to be a lot of white. It just needs to be in there to make your color pop. Otherwise, every feather that you paint is going to have a green cast. Okay, if you're okay with that, then you don't need to use the white, but I highly suggest. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit to go ahead and fill in your feathers, and we're going to chat.
Thanks, Heather.
Thank
I have
you.
one feather down.
All right.
I might quit. It looks all right. Another board member we have here, Amanda Pally. How are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
I want to ask you about raising young kids with lupus because I'm gonna out you on all of our board meetings because my kids do the same thing. Your kids make these fabulous appearances, but I know you have a crazy job, and so tell me about we've heard a little bit about how Jamila and her brother and sister grew up with Donna, but tell me about sort of how it is for you.
Oh man. Yeah, my kids are crazy and they love to be on a Zoom. They were very upset they weren't invited today.
Yes.
It's really interesting having lupus and having little kids because, sometimes it's like, how are you? I'm like, well, I'm tired, but my kids are 6 and 8 and they are exhausting. But they're great and they understand, they let me sleep in this morning till 8, which I know it's a win.
That's big.
Yeah, it is. But they get it. And I have a really, really supportive husband who, does, certainly 50-50, if not like, I mean, this is recorded, so I can't say he does more than me.
Yeah, you have to be careful. Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard, but I think when you have kids, you kind of just push through. I know that's
Got to.
yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
But I try to be honest with them, and they know I have lupus, and they don't like totally understand what it is, but they kind of understand,
Yeah.
And so it's just I think every parent has challenges, so this is just my challenge that I'm doing the best I can with, and I'm lucky and my kids are healthy, and
That's the thing.
yeah, that's the most important.
Right next to you, it's Shiva family. I'm looking at Shiva's art and.
Hello.
Really good.
Yes, that's good.
Wow, thank you. That's
Yeah, we're gonna get a shot.
quite a compliment.
Yes, I know.
My mom's an artist.
Oh.
She's also a mathematician and clinical psychologist, so I can never
Do everything.
reach those levels, but I try.
So I want to ask you about, you're a crazy good tennis player.
Oh,
You play a lot of tennis. I want to ask you, because I know we're talking about art as being therapeutic, but tell me a little bit about tennis, exercise. How does that help with your lupus?
Yeah, so opposite to Amanda probably is that I'm unmarried, I don't have children. And I think for people like me to thrive, you need a community. You need really good friends, you need a community, you need people that understand you. And I have this wonderful lupus community, but the tennis community is another one. Like I play USTA and
Whoa,
I'm on a team and I love all my teammates and they support me and they understand and so I'm not a great tennis player, but
Yes, you are. I know you are.
but we do compete. I have nationals in a week and a half and I'm currently dying. I'm so exhausted with the prepping for it, but I'm gonna rest this week.
yes.
And I think that with lupus, it's a difficult balance to exercise enough, but not exercise too much.
Correct.
And I think tennis kind of is good in a way because sometimes you do have to push. And I always say, like, I like to be tricked into working out. And tennis is a trick. So like last Saturday, I thought, oh my goodness, it's really hot out, et cetera, et cetera. I looked at my watch after I had been in zone 5, so maximum heart rate zone for 57 minutes of my 2-hour match. And I had no idea
That would
until
send me to the
afterwards.
hospital.
I know. That's why I was like,
I think that's why I'm not 100% now, is because I'm still recovering a week later from that. But I do get tricked into working out. I do go and see all of my teammates and they bring me joy and they give me that community, that family, if you will, that I don't have. And it doesn't have to be tennis, but I do think movement really helps lupus. And there's a lot of places with a lot of cities where they have these communal sport. I mean, LA is just amazing. You have run clubs, you have pickleball clubs, you have tennis clubs, you have beach. I'm originally from Montreal, Canada. I was born and raised in Montreal. So, Montreal, there's skating, ice skating.
right.
Skiing.
I'm kidding. One cold thing.
Snowshoeing. I do ski in the winter.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's great. No,
That is great.
That's I think I think everybody has to figure out kind of what their exercise brings to them,
Right.
and
Right.
and you do it one way, other people do it other ways. I think it's
Yeah.
great. All right, we're gonna swing all the way around to look, wait, we have a special guest.
Special
A
guest.
special guest.
Oh my gosh.
Khalid decided to show up.
Oh, good.
Come on in, Khalid. Come on in. This is Donna's son, Khalid,
Yes.
and he brought flowers.
And he bought flowers. I just dried up. My tears.
I'm not making you cry this time.
Thank you. I know. Thank you.
Thank
you. Thank you.
Hi, Khalid. Can I ask Khalid a question? I'm gonna ask Khalid a question. Do we have a mic? Yeah.
Yay, wow.
There we go.
I know that.
You got to stand there and hold the flowers and answer the question.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Tell me a little bit about what your mind, because I mean, this is obviously a special day for you guys. So tell me a little bit about what you see in your mom when she's doing her art and her, what this event means to you guys.
Plus,
Yeah.
he's a manager, my manager now.
Oh,
too.
so now,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
She's gonna get a break. She's gonna get the whole
That's all good. I know you guys are complying. It's all good. No, I think it's she's just really in her element, and it's what makes her happy. It's gets her in her groove or out of her funk. It's kind of a de facto kind of second nature for her. And I think just even growing up and just even now, every day, again, she's always creating and doing something. And I'm thoroughly impressed every time. Not to say that I shouldn't be, but just what she's able to do continuously and push through, and despite her discomfort or her not feeling well, it's kind of all encompassing. And I know this is what she leans on to really push through hard times. So I'm glad that she's able to do it, and with people to also go through their hardships and to have some level of levity throughout that. So yeah, I'm glad that it's a gift that she's able to share with others, and it's something that also restores her. So
Thank you so much.
yes.
That was beautiful, Khalid. Thank you.
I'll take Meg. I know.
I'm gonna, while you're on that side of the table, I want to have you hand the mic to Janice Wallace. Janice is here. Hi, Janice. Janice came in a little late. Didn't think I saw her, but I saw her. So Janice, you have been a member of this community through your husband Dan's work, keeping us all alive, or a lot of us. Yes, a lot of us. So that's good. But tell me a little bit about what the lupus community means to you, as somebody who doesn't have lupus, but who has been surrounded by lupus your whole life. And I also know I'm gonna make this a two-part question. You love art. You're very involved with the arts
But
of
I
Los
can't
Angeles.
do art.
Well, that's fine.
I love art, but I can't do art.
But I would love for you to talk about how art has impacted your life a little bit, because I know how involved you are.
Well, first of all, and this is completely unscientific, you will not find one scientific study on this, but as a general rule, not even a general rule, my husband doesn't have any patients who are not very, very smart. They are, as a group, I think lupus patients are probably the brightest group of, unfortunately, not well, but just really interesting people. Because of their disease, they don't even realize they work 10 times harder than everybody else, and they never feel like they're doing enough, which is not correct, but it just makes them just incredibly interesting people who are always doing things. And they're just a very, very bright, intelligent, always questioning, always getting involved in things, and just a very bright group. And I think that makes it a very interesting practice. And the two of us have always enjoyed getting to know our lupus patients and who they are. And I've worked with you guys for over 40 years. I've seen more machinations of a Lupus LA over many, many years.
Yeah.
And it's just an interesting group.
Fantastic.
As far as art goes, I am terrible at art. Absolutely terrible. I cannot draw a straight line with a ruler to save my life. I can't make a circle. But I do find that art can speak to people. It can make you feel good. It can bring out different emotions. It can also make you feel very sad. It's feelings. And I have to say, I love the arts as general, and music and theater, and always been very involved at things at the Music Center as well as the art community. And it's great fun. It's just great fun. I mean, sometimes you walk into a room with an artist and it's like, you feel the stuff is so terrible, but but then one day you walk into a studio and you're just absolutely. People be
Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Right. Donna, tell me, when you mess up something on a painting, what do you do? Just out of curiosity. I'm not asking for a friend. Yeah.
No, well, Heather did not bring us any gesso so that we could just cover over it and start over again. You just cover up the little mess up part and you go back and hit it.
Option.
Oh yeah, there's a thing that you could just, yes, you just cover up that little spot and start over. White paint will work as well.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
So how's everybody doing at home? Can you, Susan, can you tell me, are we getting a great response? Maybe you guys on the Zoom can show each other, hold up your painting to the camera. Or
Yeah.
I can't see them.
Yeah.
They can see them. Yeah. Everybody's doing great. Keep sending me your questions. Heather, back to you.
Okay, beautiful. How is everybody feeling right now? Good. Do we all still have our self-esteems intact? Are we okay? Yes.
Still.
Okay. Do we need another hype up from your neighbor? Come on, let's tell everybody. Look at their painting and tell them something you like about it. Tell them your favorite thing about their painting that you like.
Champagne, possibly.
Okay. So we're doing feathers. The next step is going to be little beads if you haven't started those already. There's beads throughout the top of your dream catcher. There's fun little beads on the little strings that are holding your feathers. Just remember to add white because we're now placing those over black as well. So you need to have plenty of white in there to go ahead and block that out. So that's funny that you asked how to do the mistakes. And I will tell you something, Donna, that's really funny. One of my artists says, if you mess something up, just do it 2 more times, and then it looks like you did it on purpose. You say, "Oh no,
I'm gonna use
that
that
is the technique." Yes, I did that on purpose. So
Sounds good.
yeah, yes. Okay, guys. So beads, feathers, and then after that, does anybody have questions about that? About the beads, about the feathers? Is anybody struggling? No. Okay, we're gonna continue our bead and feather work for another little bit. And then at the end, we only have like another 2 steps after that, and we're all done. Does anybody need any paint colors, any napkins, plates?
I need that.
You need napkins, okay. Moral support. I can come over here and tell you how good your hair looks.
I need this. Maybe a little sip. Yes, exactly.
Okay. All right, so we're good now for a little bit.
Okay. Donna, tell me, one second. Okay. Tell me about, we talked about showing up for the kids,
Right.
and showing up for people. Tell me about what's that feeling when you can't show up, when you just say, I gotta let the lupus do its thing.
Do its thing. That part, it gets easier as you get older, as the children get older. You know what I mean? And when they're younger, you can't really hardly do that. So you depend on, my husband, would step in and do his thing with making sure they were good. So it's definitely a tag team kind of thing, you know what I mean? But now at this point in time, as I've been reminded that they just say, sit down, mom, do your thing. Okay, you relax. You don't have to do this and that. But there's a memory muscle thing that goes on. You know what I mean? You've done it for so long. There's a groove in your brain. So you just keep doing it. And you do need them to sometimes talk to you and say, okay, you can slow up. Okay, it's not, this isn't urgent. This isn't life-threatening, just chill. Did I answer your question? I think I
Yeah.
might. I think, okay.
Totally.
Okay.
Wait, there's some more coming in now online.
Different season.
Careful what I wish for, because
I know.
Here we
Like,
go. How do you overcome a creative block?
oh,
There
that's
we go. That's a
a
good
great question. If you have lupus or not.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so a creative block is something I am still trying to discover how to get over. However, I have found that if I separate myself from my normal environment and I go out into nature, or I'll go out to the ocean, or I'll go to Honduras. No, I'm just
Yeah.
no, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just getting out of that will spark, whether you have lupus or not, as an artist, period. Sometimes you have to get out of your normal situation or your normal mode of working to almost like jumping into a ice bath, to sort of like charge your brain back up. It's like, okay, we have lupus. It's, we're dealing with these pains and itch, but sometimes to get your creative mojo working again, you got to completely, get your brain.
Sharon?
Sure. Please do.
You actually told me a
Let me
little
get
bit
you,
of
let me get you, Mike Jamila. Hold on. You can share. Hold it.
I'm like, I can lean in
Jamila?
also,
Oh,
because this was a technique that you actually shared with me that I always thought was really brilliant and really smart. And I'm not an artist either. I'll jump out and say that too. But when you have a creative block, you always say, like, when you're about to start a painting, you will always do like a test painting or a test drawing,
Right.
or you'll jump, like, even doodling, I feel like helps
Yes.
too, but
Yeah.
something that just pulls you, like you said, it shocks you out of the mundane, everyday, all the other things that's clogging up your mind.
Right.
And it really does kind of jumpstart your creativity, and it allows you to jump into whatever it is you're trying to do next. And so
Okay.
I thought that that was really smart.
Okay.
I also find that it helps with creative writing too. Just that
Okay.
brain dump of you're just kind of like writing everything that kind of comes to mind, and then
Right.
through that you're
Right.
finding your inspiration,
Right.
and then you can kind of like doesn't happen, it doesn't work all the time, but I do find it when you switch it up a little bit. And that was one of the tips that you told me, and
They listen. They listen. They listen.
I really did, because it
Listen.
worked. It really did work. So
I'm grateful.
maybe not an ice bath, maybe more
No,
like
I know. Yes, I know, but it's like I was trying to get the shock
doodles
value.
or writing
Yes, yes,
or
yes,
something
yes.
like that.
Smart. Thank you. I'm
I
so
mean, well,
grateful.
that was from you.
Thank
Okay,
you.
I got another one here
Okay.
that I think is good.
Okay.
What emotions or message do you aim to convey through your work?
Honestly, as of late, I'm noticing that a lot of my life experiences or the things that I'm going through are showing up in my art. And I might not necessarily intend that to be when I'm starting a piece of work, but as I'm working through it, it comes out. I say, that was that situation, or that was that, da 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 da. So it sort of kind of comes out regardless. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Yep.
Yes.
I hear that.
Okay.
And what are some of the common themes that do come out? What's when you look at your work?
Well, lately it's been very sort of astrological, it seems, or the embracing the different frequencies that we have in the universe, and connecting that with my brain set at the moment. You know what I mean? So I've been a lot of interesting things have been coming through my brain
Yeah,
as I've been trying to
that's fun.
no,
You enjoy that?
I really do. I really do, because it's so it's taken me to a different sort of thought process when it comes to my art,
Yeah.
and taking it out of, it's like, okay, I could see certain situations that I'm trying to challenge, that has been challenging me, and I see it in a certain color that I'm using, or a cup, or a shape, or something that I'm doing. It's been working.
And how long does it take usually for you to create a piece?
Oh, it depends on how many distractions I have.
Why are you looking
Grandkids.
Grandkids, I know. Gammy, I gotta come
I
over
didn't do
today.
it.
No, I doesn't, well, not directly, but no, I'm just saying, but no, it just depends on the challenges of the day,
Okay.
to be honest.
But is it days, weeks, or hours, or
I would say probably weeks.
weeks?
Yeah,
Okay.
I've gotten better. Yeah,
Okay.
it was months for a while, okay, but I've gotten down to weeks.
And one at a time?
Yes,
Or do
yes.
you, yeah, okay. Always one at a time.
No, not one at a time. I have like sometimes like 2 or 3 canvases up at the same time. And if I have a great blue, I think I can use it there, I can use it there, I can use it there.
That's
So I
interesting.
kind of work with it that way, because mixing colors and getting that stuff on the canvas is also challenging. So I'm trying to make the most out of my effort.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that. Sorry, I'm very into my yellow right now.
I hear it. Get into that yellow.
Phase. Okay. Where are we going? Heather,
Where
we
we
going
going?
back
Where
to
we going?
you?
Heather?
Are we?
We can.
Oh,
Yes,
good. Okay.
Yeah, we can come back. So we're all kind of at different stages right now. As the painting progresses, some people paint faster, some like to stop and, hone in a little bit more on one detail or another.
Okay.
So if you're not here yet, that's okay. You're not behind. This is just for our fast painters. The last couple of things that we're going to do is we are going to do a highlight. And then if you want to paint a word on your painting, something that means something to you or that's reflecting where you're at mentally, physically, spiritually, anything in your life right now, you can go ahead and put that message there. If you don't want a word, you don't have to have that. But for the highlight part, I'm going to use my detailed brush. Okay, so this is the little baby brush here. I'm going to dip this in white, and we're just going to use the very tip of the brush. And we're going to remember that little line weighting trick that I gave you. Lighter pressure is a lighter line. If you want these highlights in your feathers, if you don't want them, that's okay. This is optional. But you know, a lot of feathers, like, well, every feather actually has like a little spine in the middle where all the little fluffy things are connected. So I'm going to go ahead and pop these in. They don't necessarily have to be a full line. This line is a little bit broken because you know there's spots on the feather that might be a little bit fluffier than the others. So maybe you don't quite see that little spine the whole way down. But I'm just going to pop it in kind of intermittently where I want this to live. So mine kind of looks like this. If you're able to see, I'm going to pick this up real quick. If you're able to see this, it just has some little lines kind of down the middle that just helps you to center where that is. For those of us online, I think you can probably see that pretty well. Okay, so we have this little area that we're going to paint, and then we're going to add a little bit of highlight to the feather itself. The key to this is to use just a little bit of paint. So this is almost like a dry brush technique where we're using just a little bit of paint. You don't need a lot of water, and you're just going to take your brush and gently add in a few highlights, and you're going to go in the direction that the feather is laying, if that makes sense. So everything's kind of going down. You're going to take a little highlight and pop that into your little feather. This is just going to give it a little bit more dimension. And so, you know, taking it from maybe if it looks flat, it's going to give it a little more visual interest. Again, this is totally optional. I see that a lot of people have done super cool stuff. I saw some heart shapes. I saw little confetti, polka dots. I've seen a lot of really cool stuff. I love all of it. I think it's amazing that you guys are taking those creative liberties. So just do what feels good to you. If you like the solid color on the feather, I support your creative journey, okay? If you want those highlights, the other highlight that you can add if you want, you do not have to, I would suggest creating a gray color if you want to highlight your dream catcher itself. So a little black, a little white. The white's going to be a little too harsh of a contrast, so we're going to do some gray here. If you want to add a little highlight to your actual dream catcher, you can add a little bit of gray just around the base here, maybe even to the little threaded part here. Again, this is just going to create a little more visual interest. And maybe even on your little ropes where your feathers are hanging, you can add a little bit of a highlight there as well, if you want. If that's too much for you and you're like, Heather, that's a lot, that's okay. Okay. But just so you know, you have choices. You can be more conservative or you can really go for it.
Beautiful.
Yes. So add your highlight.
Go for it.
We'll come back in just a little bit for the if you want to add a word, and I'll give you some tips about that. But yeah, we've got a little time to just highlight away.
Heather, can you go back to the beads for a second?
The beads, yes.
Oh, the beads.
So you're just going to want to make sure you add plenty of white to whatever color that you're applying this with. And this is just going to be beaded over any of these little stringed parts or your little strings that are hanging down to hold your feathers. And they can literally be anywhere.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
We have another patient and podcast guest here with us today, Eve McClausen.
Okay.
Hi, Eve.
Hi.
How old were you when we did the podcast?
I was 15, I think, or maybe
15.
16.
And you were pretty recently diagnosed, right?
Yeah, I was diagnosed at 13 and I'm 17 now.
You're 17 now. So tell me how you've been.
I've been great.
Yeah.
Over the summer, I just did a fundraiser for Lupus LA where my cousin Caroline, who's here with me, was in
Hi,
attendance.
Caroline.
We put on a pickleball tournament and I raised over $5,000 for
Oh,
I want to thank you so much for doing that. That's great. That's great. And tell me about that experience, because I remember the first Lupus LA event we ever did in 2000.
Okay.
And it was a pretty rewarding experience. Tell me a little bit about how that made you feel about your lupus and how it connected.
I loved it. It was amazing. I spent my entire second semester of my junior year like emailing a bunch of different companies and trying to get product donations and people to come. And I think I was really stressed out the day before. And I had a really hard time asking people to help me around me. But I got my entire family came and helped, and the event was really amazing. And afterwards, I was just like on a cloud. I felt so good.
Oh.
And when we got the email saying that it was over $5,000, I was really proud of myself. So
You should.
Yes,
You
yes.
should.
Yay.
That's amazing.
That is amazing.
thank
And
you.
60 people on the Zoom at home, if you want to do the same thing,
Yes.
that would be fantastic.
That would
Because
be
I will tell you
fantastic.
that the money we raise really does go to patients. And I
Yes,
think that's so important.
yes.
So I just know how many people you've helped, Eve. And
Right?
it's really cool.
And
I
that's
love when I see
unique.
that.
Yes.
I love when it pays off. And I think it's just great. And
Thank you.
and now that we're talking about the younger generation,
Yes.
Donna, what's your advice to a young artist? See how I tied that in there?
Look at that. Tie in to a young
Hey.
artist. I would say to stay encouraged and to like try to find a community of lupus people, period. They don't have to be artists necessarily, but just the lupus community, because I think that as a young artist, no matter what, you still need the basic fundamentals to be able to function and do your craft, and to be able to, to work within the flares, to work around them, you know what I mean? And not be discouraged that every day I can't go and hit this canvas, and work on it every day. Sometimes you're going to have to take a day or two to break it, and young people are, from what I think and what I've seen, they like immediate gratification. They want to, see the results. I'm working and working and working. I don't want to stop. I want to keep going. Da, da, da. And sometimes, that's sort of sometimes a mature sort of attitude towards your work, that sometimes you do have to stop. I'm still learning. I mean,
Yep.
and I'm 68, right? So it's a slow, it's working within. And when you are doing well, not to overdo it so that you drop yourself back into a flare, but to ride that wave of how you feel. If you feel great and you feel creative and you're motivated, just do it. You know what I'm saying? And then, we'll, don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't exhort yourself sometimes. And sometimes with the art, and as being an artist, sometimes it's about the process of working it out, the sketches, figuring out how I'm going to approach this painting, sculpture, or whatever it is that you're doing. Use it for mind work as opposed to actual physical work.
I think that's really important.
Yeah.
And does that change depending on how you're feeling? Do you have to do different kinds of techniques
Yes,
in
you
that
do.
type of setting?
I don't have you do have to use different techniques. Like as I've gotten older, but for younger people, it's a different sort of thing. But sometimes if your hands aren't working, or your arthritis, or your joints are aching and that sort of thing, I found that there are sometimes different tools out that you can slide your brush into that gives you a different level of mobility, of being able to get that stroke, get that line that you need, or your brush is falling out your hands because this is a little thin, you know what I'm saying? And
Right.
so sometimes to grab it and hold it and do what you need to do is a little difficult. So there are tools out there. Is it ergonomic? I never pronounced that right, but there are certain things to help you
Yeah.
be able to work and motivate. For me lately, it's holding my arm up. How long can I hold my arm up here to be able to grab a stroke, grab a line, and sometimes I need an assist to do that, you know what I mean? And there are there are braces for that. So it's like also looking into the different things that they have out now with, communication through technology and that sort of thing, and social media. There's a lot of hacks for what we need to do in order to, to create what you need to create. So for youngers, I don't think it matters, and reach out to people who are in the field doing it.
My hack is to have somebody else paint it for
No,
me.
no, that's the best hack.
My hack.
That is the best hack.
Yes.
That is the best hack. And I just want to take a couple of minutes to acknowledge my New Jersey artists and my New Jersey community who are also supporting me in this effort. And, you know, when it comes down to even what earrings do I wear today? No, they have been also so supportive. And I'm so grateful for everyone everywhere who has contributed to this and are helping us move this along in this way.
Yeah,
So
for
that,
sure.
you know, we hit all kinds of communities.
That's great. That's great.
Just thought I'd throw my little 2 cents in there.
How's everybody doing? Yeah.
Okay.
Are we surprised at our art level
Are we excited?
or do we?
Are we happy? Are we happy?
All right. All right. We're making progress.
Making progress.
Who have I not talked to that I need to talk to? Oh, Vanya.
Ah,
Vanya. All
Vanya.
right. So Vanya is a great story. I'm going to tell while you're getting her a mic.
Okay.
Vanya just got married. And I met Vanya when she was a patient at Children's Hospital Los Angeles.
Okay.
She was in one of our very first pediatric support groups. Maybe the teen group, maybe a little bit before the teen group, Vanya. I don't remember, but
The children's group.
and she was an incredibly determined patient to not only get better, but support Lupus LA in any way she can. And she's the poster child for what that program did. It unfortunately it got derailed during COVID, but this support group was something Lupus LA created where not only the patient would come to the support group, but we had a separate support group for the parents and a separate support group / play group for the siblings.
Okay.
So there were 3 groups going on at the exact same time, and everybody got a facilitator and somebody to talk to. And I should probably let Vanya tell you about it because she spent time, but it was really one of my favorite things to go and visit and speak to the kids because I was diagnosed as a teenager. And Vanya is a incredible success story and is painting a beautiful painting right now. So that's great. So Vanya, tell us a little bit about your story and about that program and watching you grow up has been a real joy.
Thank you, Adam. As Adam said, I was diagnosed at the age of 10. I was actually put into a severe coma where I lost my complete memory. So I was basically 0 years old. I had to relearn how to walk, talk, and who my name even was. On top of that, I learned that it was because of lupus. So I needed to meet, my doctor would tell me there's other patients just like you. And I would just be like, you big fat liar. I'm the only one in the world going through this. And I would meet these other kids. And to this day, as young adults, I still keep in contact with some of them. Even one of them was my bridesmaid.
Nice.
And it just shows that it impacted me for life because those girls are still some of my friends, regardless of where we all live and stuff. And it even helped my mom to see there's other parents that get it and that she is also not alone, wanting to kill me with the prednisone, going insane with her, and wanting to have Chips Ahoy at midnight and her telling me, no, I can't. And just all that stuff. It helped us unity as a family. And during COVID, while having the support groups I attended, there was the adult groups, and I had reached out to Adam because he's always throughout the years told me, if you ever have an idea, if you feel like there's something needed here, please tell us. And I told him, although I feel love and support in this group, they're talking about their husbands, they're talking about their ex-husbands and about how the mother-in-law's annoying their children. And I'm like, I'm barely dating.
I know.
I need
You're
some
very-
younger, some younger people
Yes,
to vet
yes,
too.
yes,
And he was like,
yes.
absolutely. So then we started the young adult group,
Smart.
and it's
Smart.
just a piece of how Lupus LA has been part of my journey and always been hearing out for me. So thank you.
Love it.
Beautiful.
I love it.
Beautiful.
I also want to say that not only is Donna a real instrumental reason why we have an adult support group, she's also a part of our patient advocacy panel, which is also Cambria and Marissa really spearheaded this. Lorraine is in this now. So this is a group of diverse young women who come to our conferences and speak to the community, and you can see when you're there in person, they've become a little bit like rock stars. The patients wait afterwards to speak to them. They share their personal emails and Instagrams and have really become advocates and supporters for themselves as well for Lupus LA. So it's really been beautiful to see.
Oh, I'm proud of that. Yes.
And now is a good time to make a plug for anybody to go to lupusla.org and find a support group because, look, this is kind of like a support group, right? We're all here together. We're sharing our lupus stories. That's what the support groups online are doing. COVID sort of forced us in a direction we were already heading, but it accelerated how we did things online. And, Lupus LA, we go through this constant name battle because it says LA. But it's really, I think it's a local organization with a global reach. And we have people from all over the world who join these support groups, who have been interviewed on the podcast, so our patient focused effort is unique. It's very unique in the lupus world, probably too unique. But I want everybody who's on this Zoom to spread that word and to have those conversations and join us online because we find so many of our supporters that way. And we get so many ideas that way and we get so much community that way. I think it's really important. And so I think, Donna, this event, just sharing this experience, not only with us, but with the 100 people online, I think it's incredible. So
I think it's incredible. It
so
is.
thank
It
you.
is.
And
No,
the
I'm
more people we
grateful.
can get to join our support groups, the
Yes.
more robust they are, the better the conversations are.
Right.
Um,
Right. I've learned so much today myself. You know what I mean? It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you also, beyond that, our patient events that are with doctors, our Facebook
Right.
Lives,
Right.
the access you'll get by being part of Lupus LA to the medical world is incredible.
Ah,
Dr. Catherine Van Hees is here. Where's Kath? She stepped out
okay.
at the wrong time, but that's okay. But that's okay. And she just did our podcast. Is doing some Facebook work. I mean, it's just everybody sort of really does their thing, and I think it's really makes us an incredible organization. And
I agree. I
right?
agree. It's very unique.
Very unique, just like my painting. Heather, let's go back to you. Don't show my painting. I didn't show my painting. That's terrible.
Do you want to put a word on your
Okay.
painting? There's a couple of things that I can tell you is remember the pressure that you're using. If you're pressing very hard, you're going to get very thick lines to make your word. You can use your small brush. I personally don't like to. I like to manipulate my bigger brush in a better way to get a thinner line because your small brush does not hold a lot of paint. So if you're doing your word, you're going to be going back and dipping a lot. If you're okay with that, that's all right. But if that seems a little bit too tedious and you can't get like a nice flowy line, you may try using the medium-sized brush and just pressing very lightly, if that makes sense. If you're going to use white, you may have to do a couple of layers, okay, to cover over your background. So if it looks a little transparent the first time through, that's okay, that's normal. Let it dry a little bit, and then you can go back in and do a second layer. If you go back in to do your second layer before the paint is dry enough, what will happen is the paint will actually start to pick back up off the canvas. So like if you ever paint your nails and you're like, okay, time for coat 2, and it's not quite dry, and then it starts coming off and looking yucky, that happens with regular paint as well. So just make sure that, you can give it a little fan. You can, if your plate is dirty, you can even pick it up and do this number, like just dry it a little bit and then go back in for round 2. You don't have to write the word dream on there. If you want a symbol, something that means something to you. I mean, we've created a beautiful memory here today. So if there's something related to lupus that is very powerful to you, amazing. It does not have to relate to that directly. It can just be something that is going on with you right now that means something to you. And if you're just like, you know what, Heather, it's not that deep for me. I just want something fun. You can totally do that as well, okay? So have fun with this. This is really our last step in the painting. So take your time. Just don't forget to sip. We have amazing wine here, right?
Amazing.
Okay, so this is a part where you can relax and sip your wine. Yeah, and just finish your painting. And when you're done, your painting will tell you. Every so often, lean back and look at it.
Okay, it's quiet over here.
Part of painting is knowing when to stop.
Are you sure
But
it's gonna tell me?
don't forget to initial or sign your masterpiece. It can go on the front or the back, whichever you feel more comfortable with, okay? A symbol can definitely be, yes, whatever you would like. But I'm gonna give you guys the rest of the time to just add these beautiful details. If you need anything, please raise your hand. Let me know. We've got paint, napkins, white paint. Got it. Anybody else? Let me know. Okay, white. Okay. All right. You got it.
Do too.
And Catherine's back. So Catherine, guys, we're gonna talk to you. As I finish my highlight.
Okay.
Does Catherine have a mic?
Yep.
Okay. So Catherine, tell us a little bit about you're new to Lupus LA on our medical advisory board. You're just starting an incredible practice. Tell us a little bit about your practice and what brought you to Lupus LA. And I mean, you've jumped in really like no other new doctor we've had before. So tell us a little bit about it.
Well, thank you. It's such an honor and pleasure to be here. Yeah, I mean, I think I was just fortunate to be directed to you guys as a source of community to me first as a patient. Like Adam said, I am a physician, and in my fellowship for fertility medicine is when I was diagnosed with lupus, so 3 years ago. So I did my OBGYN residency and then 3 years of fellowship for fertility. And I'm just, as of 2 weeks ago, out in private practice. So really excited to be there. Thank you. Yeah, I think my experience as a patient with lupus has completely changed how I view practicing medicine. So I'm at the point in my journey now where I think I can take it almost as like this was a fortunate experience for me to go through, although it was pretty dark for a while. I think probably a lot of people can relate to that, especially when you don't have a diagnosis. And if anything, it's just made me more empathetic to my infertility patients who don't have answers. So I'm really excited to get started with the practice. I'm really excited to be a part of Lupus LA, and thank you so much.
Excellent. Yes.
Thank you, Catherine.
Thank you.
And lupus patients in LA who want babies.
Yeah.
Catherine's your person.
Okay.
So I guess as we're wrapping up, Donna, tell me a little bit about what this experience has been for you today.
It's been absolutely amazing. Honestly, I woke up this morning, I was feeling with the allergies and everything else. I was like, oh my God, how am I going to get through this? And it's just knowing that how this would possibly impact other people and to spread the word and to get lupus known so that we can get the support and we can get the treatments and we can get the research that's needed to help, push the goal of eradicating lupus, you know what I mean, and how we can get through this autoimmune condition. And it changed a lot, and I feel totally different now that I'm here and I've experienced that, and I'm just so grateful that you allowed me to have this type of exposure or be able to spread the word in the way that we can, in the way that we do, because there's a lupus sort of energy that I think is emitted when we do these different functions. And I'm sure when you do your podcast, when I look at your podcast and I see your interviews, it's a connection that I don't really see from other organizations that are supporting other illnesses or whatever. And I just want to commend you as well for the way that you can, connect to all of us and you bring us all together. And Susan for her undying sort of effort to make sure that, everything is handled. I call it at 7:30 in the morning. I'm saying, I'm on my way to I said, it's only 7:30. You know what I mean? She said, I've got an event to do. So I'm just saying, she's always there. She's always listening. She's always there with the ear, and she always has an answer. It may not be right in that second. It usually is, but usually within the next 10 minutes, you will have a solution to what problem that you might have. And we're so grateful for you for that. Yes.
Yeah.
We really are. Yes.
All right, so I think we should go around. Let's, if we can get a camera.
Oh, no.
Everybody, yeah. No,
Now-
I know. Now I've ruined it. We're gonna take a joint picture, but I just want for the camera for the people at home, before we sign off the Zoom, everybody just kind of hold up your. Hold up your.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You're
That?
talking all that smack over there. Okay? Oh, give me a break, Adam. Oh, that is amazing. Yeah.
I swear.
Mom, your picture is gorgeous.
Look at Donna's. Oh my God.
Oh, that looks great. Oh my God. Absolutely beautiful stuff. Oh, that's so fun.
Thank you, Heather. Now wait, I have a question. So is this Zoom gonna, we recorded this Zoom.
Yeah.
We're gonna put the Zoom online, right? So we all in this room can go back now and see all the people on Zoom, all of your art. We want to see that and send us pictures, post on social media, tag Lupus LA.
Yes.
Because we would love to get this spread out and we want to do this again. And bring in more people and make it bigger. And this is great. So thank you everybody for joining us online.
yes.
Thanks to everybody in the room. Thank you, Heather and Paint Sip LA.
Yes.
All right. Let's go hang our pictures.
Let's go hang them. Okay. Right. That was really good, Adam. Oh, that smack. I know. It's like,
Feathering, like a feather.